So what we have today is a dichorionic diamniotic twin at about 17 weeks, which was diagnosed as diamniotic dichorionic early in pregnancy, and at the NT-NB scan she had not shown any abnormalities. But at 16 week scan, one of the twin is showing cystic hygroma, a big one, and is showing hydrops and is showing fetal ascites and fetal pleural effusion. So that twin has abnormalities, and this could be trisomy 13, 18 or 21, anything. The other twin morphologically appears normal, and so what we have decided is, because it's dichorionic diamniotic, we will reduce the abnormal twin so that will get absorbed. It is a little late for reduction, but that is the only option we have. But before that, in the normal twin, to rule out any chromosomal anomalies, we will do an amniocentesis. So we'll take an amniocentesis fluid from here, send it for karyotype or microarray better. Because structural anomalies, it is better to do a CMA microarray than to do only karyotype. And morphologically, this is normal. The other twin has short limbs and everything. So here, let's see. This is the normal twin which you're seeing. The limbs are normal. The spine is normal. And the head and everything appears normal. So morphologically, this twin and a good cardiac activity. No ascites, nothing. And that you see the placenta posteriorly, but now we see, when we see carefully, there are actually two placenta. A little bit of line in between. So, and when I look at the membrane, so this is not the right time to do a chorionicity of this. But when we look at the membrane, so the membrane is very thick, and thick membrane is diamniotic dichorionic. And when the membrane gets attached to the placenta, it shows a lambda sign, not a T sign. So that is not very well elicited here, but we could see a lambda sign. So we are confirming this is diamniotic dichorionic with a normal twin here. And when we label the twins, this is how I told you that how you should label the twins. So this one is on the right because the membrane is going like this. So these twins will be labeled as right and left. Right and left. So the right twin is the one which is abnormal. And you see here the huge cystic hygroma we can see now. You see there. So this is a very, very big abnormality. This is not compatible with life. So this twin has to be reduced on the neck. This will not regress. Otherwise, small cystic hygromas do regress. So let's see. Now we go and amniocentesis. Now I've got the biopsy line. We can do it with a freehand technique, but for beginners, I would always advise go ahead and do it with the biopsy guideline. You see the membrane, and you have to be very sure that's the upper twin, which is the normal one, and we get the fluid from the upper twin. So this is the sac, and the lower twin, which is the abnormal, and we should not get the fluid from there. So we have to be very sure that we are getting the amniotic fluid from the normal side. And I'm trying to find a window which without injury to the baby, so we can get some fluid out. So that window, because the placenta is posterior, easy, but the baby is just coming to the anterior part. So here is a nice window where there are limbs only. So I have to be very, very sure that I'm going to take out fluid from the normal sac and not the abnormal sac. And because the limbs are nearby, this is the short limbs. You can see classical dwarf limbs, and this is the abnormal baby which you see. So short limbs are seen in trisomies. So this sac, it will definitely show trisomy. So we're not going to do amniocentesis in this sac because we don't want an abnormal fluid. We don't want an abnormal karyotype there. And you see, because we cannot use jelly, so we are using a lot of betadine on this. And this is the normal baby. So this is the normal baby. You can see the limbs in different, and this is the part of the amniotic fluid which we are seeing here. So we have the amniocentesis needle, and through the biopsy guide, you can do it freehand technique. We do it with the biopsy guide, it's better. There the needle enters into the sac, and then we remove the thing. Show you. So 1 ml of the fluid has to be discarded for maternal contamination, and we take 20 mLs out. So 20 mils will be taken, 10 ml 2 bottles it will be sent, and it will be sent for microarray CMA. So slowly we are going to aspirate, and you see we've got about 15 now, and we keep looking there so it's the needle is not touching any of the fetal part or the needle. So there is no blood, so we've not touched the fetus, we've not touched the placenta, and we take out the needle here. So that's, we'll use now the same needle for reduction of the abnormal twin. And because you don't reduce the abnormal twin first, otherwise contamination. So now we'll go and see this heartbeat of the normal one, it's beating normally, and we go to the abnormal one. The abnormal one is here. And I focus the biopsy line on the fetal heart, and we will try with one single shot go into the fetal heart, so we can inject KCl and reduce this twin. So now my needle has to go deliberately into the fetus. Okay, there it is in the fetal thorax, and here we are going to inject few drops of KCl. That's the KCl injected. Yep. And cardiac tamponade has occurred. So the heart is slowed down, it will just stop. So that's how we are injecting KCl in it, and we come out with that. So if the heart beats again, we can go ahead and do another puncture at another place, so it's not entered the blood supply. Now sometimes it becomes difficult for these. What?
No, sir.
Yep. Yeah, so the heart is stopped. And that's what we managed to do. So we've done the amniocentesis from the normal twin, and we have stopped the, we've done a cardiac tamponade and injected KCl in the abnormal twin. And now I'm going to pray that it goes on well. We'll just give her some progesterone support and some tocolytics, and that's it. Thank you very much.